I'd like to welcome everyone to the conversation where we talk about everything Cowboys. My favorite team, your favorite team, America's team. Here with your host, Coach Marv.
Cowboy Nation, how's it going? Cowboy Nation, how's everything going? How's everybody's doing out there in the Cowboy land? I'm glad we are together, man. Gotta just wanted to step in for a few seconds and talk to y'all for a few seconds, man. Maybe some of y'all can get into the building and we're gonna talk for a few seconds and uh, just chat it up for a little bit, man. It's a very, very, very interesting point in time, man. We are almost 1 week away from playing football for real. We're going to be the first game on the schedule for this new up and coming NFL season. We're going to be in hostile territory in Philadelphia, which Philadelphia has always been a tough place for us to be anyway. They're going to be fired up. They're going to be on top of the world. Yes, we released Childress. They're going to try to get him back on the practice squad. But listen, man, when you're talking about the back end of your roster, and we're going to get to that, about when you start picking up guys on the back end of your roster. One thing this whole league knows, and we should know this. I trust Will McClay and our coaches and our staff when they go after a player that they try to get a player that's on the back end of the roster. When they go after them right off the bat, they've been scouting these two guys they picked up. They've probably been scouting these guys since coming out of college and been scouting these guys while they've been in training camp. So we're gonna talk about how that process goes along in this live I got, but we'll get to that when we talk about that. But getting back to what I said, man, we're gonna be in hostile territory. We're gonna be in one of the a stage that where everybody's looking for us to fail. We're gonna be in a stage where a team that's gonna always have ultimately confidence. Confidence is gonna be flowing out of them in all areas. This is gonna be a very game that's maybe might be sloppy, but it's gonna be a highly anticipated game. And for the normal fans, they're gonna look at it like it's gonna be the big measuring stick about who we are, and gonna be and everybody's gonna be taking this as like a Super Bowl. But me, myself, Coach Marv, it's gonna be fired up because it's the Philadelphia Eagles, and I'm gonna be fired up because it's the first time that we actually playing for real. And it's a new season. But I understand that with a new coach, a new season, on the road, against the champs, I'm looking for some things that's going to be, and I'm going to have a video about the things I'm looking for. And all those may not equate into wins, a win for that game. But they may turn out to be very positive things to be standing on top at the end of the season. But I don't look at this team going in this first game trying to build a new culture and build a new way of thinking and a way outside of what they've been doing for the last 5 years. I don't look at it as going in there saying, "Oh man, it's going to be this totally totally that we're gonna go in there, on all cylinders." But I will say this, as my topic showed, as my title said, and I hope I can get y'all on board with this. It's time to get focused on some football. I know everybody's still out there saying, we should have got this player, we should have got that player, we should have got this player, should have got that player. But at this particular time, there's a lot of teams are saying, well, I wish I had this guy, had that guy, had this guy, whatever was that, and had this name, and I had that name. And I think a lot of this is that we're dealing with names. But it's time for this to say, hey, it's nothing going to be perfect in this game of football. And that's one thing I used to like to tell players. If you're looking for a perfect scenario where everything is going to be perfect, you're not going to find it in football. Not playing against the better teams. Now, you might find a scenario that's perfect if you're playing against teams that are way less or shouldn't even be in your league. But if you're playing against competition, there's nothing going to be set in stone. And I always tell players this, man, you got to understand this. If you want to be a name in this league, you have to make your name. And everybody who's made a name in this league that we look at and say, we calling this guy name, we calling that guy name, or this name is known, they had an opportunity. At some point, they had an opportunity where they were somewhat that people didn't know about them, and they made their name. So you got some players on this team that has an opportunity to make their name. Osa. Let's think about Osa. When Osa came, he was a third-round draft pick out of UCLA. Everybody like, well, now he has a name. And how did he get that name? He had an opportunity. He had to play, and he had to get better. He had to build his name. I think where we got to get to the point now, I'm hoping this football team starts to get focused on football. Because worried about if we got this player on the back end of the roster now, we got this player on, none of that's going to help us come next Thursday night. And guess what? Philadelphia is not going to care about who we should have got, when we should have got, what guy ain't signed. Listen, I think the Michael Parsons thing is a big distraction. But I don't see Michael Parsons as helping us a great deal week one. Signed or not signed. Because there's no way that he's going to step on the field and be dominant, and he hadn't been in football practice parts since last year. He's going to give you a splash. But I don't know how much that splash will get without being injured if you're trying to go full blow. It's no amp up time in full pads. But regardless of Michael Parsons is there or not, we have enough to win this football game. And if we think in this team that if we're going out in every game that we got to play, that we got to have a certain player to play, then the object is, yes, we could be better. I'm not saying that we're better without him, But you got to find a way, and this team has to rally around, and people have to do things to get better. Listen, I'm quite sure that teams, if you want to talk about Philly, they went, 15, 14-2? Jalen Hurts missed 3 games, and they still won. A.J. Brown missed 4 games last year. Devontae Smith missed, I think, 3 games last year. But they still won those games. So, great teams, if you're going to be a great team, we're going to have some bumps and bruises. I'm not saying that I'm discounting what's happening with Michael Parsons. I think that's just a catastrophic error. And I think on the true end, I think we have hurt his season when I said we have hurt what he could be, how much impact he could have on the season in a different way. And we're going to touch bases on that because what I had said for the longest is starting to come true. And what some of the narrative what people were saying, we're starting to find out what I was talking about who the NFL is paying. And everybody got this narrative, and the NFL pushes a narrative out there, and we jump on it. But we're going to get to that. But what it's time to do is focus on football. I'm not going against nothing with nobody who's saying anything, and we're pointing out the hypocrisy of everything. I'm with it. I understand that. But it's coming to a point that, yes, we can say we're doing it when we don't hope our players do it. But you know something? Our players listen to us. Our players listen to some of some very content creators. And it's time to put the leverage on saying, hey, man, we got a guy, whoever we got out there, we got to pour into these guys to get their best effort. Because I understand one thing. If you give a guy excuses saying, well, he shouldn't be this, that, or that, he will use that as a built-in excuse for his failure. Or sometimes he may use that for his lack of effort. Because he defeated already. So it's time to get to the nitty-gritty and play. It's time for the first time that we're going to see in live action our first-string offensive line together. Is that a mistake? It could be. But I know that this is a marathon, not a sprint. And I'm so concerned by our Cowboy Nation that we're putting everything in our power with this one game. And guess what that is, folks? And I'm not talking bad about nobody, but that's a losing mentality. When you are winning or you're a team that's winning, you don't put everything into one game. You go out the game and play it hard, but you don't have the idea of we lose this game or we suck. Cowboys used to have that swag. When you had to try to come, I don't care what Philadelphia won. The Cowboys had that swag to saying, hey, man, regardless of what happened this game, we're going to win in the long run. That ain't mean that they took the game for granted, but we've got our fan base now. It's almost like we're desperate to win this game. And I hope our team is not like that. Because if this doesn't go the way you want, I hope it don't put our team in a tailspin because, one, we get down on them. One, we start talking about we need to get rid of this guy, get rid of that guy. That's what I don't like about our focus, man, because I think the Joneses have created a soap opera atmosphere, and we're fanning just like people watching the stories. We're up and down. First one, we're going to throw people off the boat. We got a brand new coaching staff here, and we don't even trust them at all. Yes, I talk about corrections they should make. Yes, I talk about things that I think they should do. But I also know that our players has got to play. If they're on a 53-man roster of the NFL and the talent that we have, we should go in no game saying, "Oh man, we so untalented we can't win a game." If I got a team that's saying that we always need to get this, we always need to get that, then I got a team that's looking for something to be perfect. And guess what those teams usually do? They lose. I want a team that makes it work. No, my dad always taught me something, man, and I respect my dad. You know, my late father. But he always taught me, say, hey, if I need to get something done, if it ain't perfect, I'm going to make it work. We weren't able to buy everything, but we made it work. And there's some things you had to make it work, but listen, I'm waiting on this team to get the lunch pail mentality of making it work. Yes, right. Gotta grind. Grind don't have the best players in every position. Grinders don't have first round draft picks in every position. Grinders make it work. And whatever we got an advantage in, we got to dominate in that and hold the fort in the places we don't. Do we think we're going to go out here and shut Saquon Barkley down to 50 yards and he can't get but 2 yards of carry? No. There's not no teams that's going to do that to them this year if they're a quality running team. But what we can do is we can expect to not let this running game hurt us. It's going to get some stuff, but we can expect to say we're going to not let him get big plays. We're not going to allow him to get what he wants. We're going to make him work for what he gets. We're going to corral the big plays. And it's a work in progress of how good our run defense is going to get. This is an opportunity for these running backs that we were talking about that we got on our team to say, hey, you're going out there with the first string running back, first string offensive line. It is their job and your tight ends and your receivers' job to make those young running backs or this running back core comfortable in what they do. It's Tyler Smith's job to get this offensive line to help these running backs because he's the all-pro. It's Terrence Steele because he's been here for 4 or 5 years. It's Dak Prescott to put the pressure, not just throw the ball, but to have an emphasis of we got to be able to do this. It's for our receiving core to calm everybody down because they're veterans. It's time for the stars on our team to bleed confidence in the younger players. Because we're going to need them. But it's time to focus on football. I understand we got stuff. And I hear people saying, oh, we got another week. But we are 8 days away now. And what we got is what we got. Because I don't want no team that's cry about, well, you know, somebody, well, you know what they do in the front office. I don't want no team to that. I want dogs to say, hey, man, I don't care what you put me out there with. I'm going to win. And we ain't going out there with Swiss cheese. We ain't going out there with nothing. But I do not want guys to have a built-in excuse for not playing well as a unit. And I don't want us to focus in on certain guys and we don't focus in on everybody because we give them a benefit of the doubt. Because to win this thing, fellas and ladies, and everybody out there, man, to win this, man, it's going to take all of us, man. And it's going to take a grind type mentality. And it may not look pretty, but it's the job of these veteran guys that are the stars on this team to get people off their young people ass and say, I believe in the guy. He might not do everything perfect, but he can make a play here and there. And we can't win this without being physical. And that's why I say, man, I said in one of my earlier videos, and I'm not never get on my quarterback case because I think my quarterback deserves $100 million a year based off the BS he takes. But he got to buy into the run game. He got to buy in to that if this offensive line dominates on the run end, that he gonna be easy on the pass. But he got to buy in because his team buys into whatever he buys into. Team, folks. Ain't no one guy we gonna get on the back end of this roster gonna make a world of difference. Yes, yeah. If they want to get some more size in the one tech, I'm not against that at all. But we got to bring it. Listen here. When I watch, if a team run all over you, it ain't just because of one tech. If the offense is doing and the offense is consistent like they need to play, and we're trying to run the ball against another team, do you understand? Whatever team established the run first, the other team can't run. Think about this. In every game, I want you to watch games. Y'all watch games. Like I told you, you need to watch other football. You need to watch other football. If you watch a game, they always talk about which team won to establish the run first. Because whatever team established the run first, it takes the run away from the other team. Very rarely you don't see the game that got two teams that ran for over 150-some yards. Think about it. You either got one team running the ball and one team not. One team styles a physical presence and one team's not. If this offense is efficient in getting first downs, you're going to make teams not be as patient to run the ball against you. So you're going to limit the snaps a 400-pound one tech is going to have. And that's not mean we're going to be rushing the passer, but this is how you play continuity type football, complementary football. And it's not going to be built in this first day. And listen, I'm going to be one of the biggest watchers of this game. I'm going to be fired up. I'm going to be in a live show. I'm going to be ecstatic. I'm going to be fired up. I'm going to be in there talking trash. I'm going to want us to beat Philly because I can't stand Philly. But I'm a Cowboy fan that goes back a long way. Philly can't compare to the Cowboy fan I am. They have never been as impressive as we have. So I never put in that if I don't win a game against Philadelphia, that's how the season gonna end. No, you ain't gonna never get me to be like, oh man, if we don't beat Philly up, no. That's for Philly to do with Dallas. The marathon, not the sprint. Sprinters don't usually win the world championship. Sprinting teams don't usually win the Lombardi Trophy. Grind from the dirt. All that's got to come, man. And this needs to start now. So I'm asking my content creators. I understand, and I'm not getting no. And listen, I'm not gonna get no argument because I love you, and you know me. I'm not one of those things because I understand everybody's opinion. But it's time to focus on what the guys we got on this roster, and the guys that we feel confident about, and the guys that we say, "Oh, I'm good with that guy." Oh, I'm good with that guy. It's time to put pressure on them to be that and more. And whatever we think we got a weak spot in, we ask them to drag them along with it. I remember Jay Novacek said something when Boss and Laudem was at the training camp and they had an interview with him. He said, when you lose a player, it's up to the other players around them to step their game up to get us through. Well, if we're worried about one tech, it's up to the three techs, the defensive ends, the linebackers and safeties to dominate. And if you dominate those other positions, yeah, you'll stop the run. But it's time now we start putting confidence in our guys. Like fans. It's time to get focused on football and go out and do a job, man. Because we're going to have some injuries. We're going to have some casualties, a war. There's going to be some stuff going on. You know, we can have a guy here that we can get a guy right now that we think will be all world, and he get hurt. What are we going to do? We're going to throw the season up because a guy got hurt. Of course, you don't want Dak Prescott to get hurt. So you don't want CeeDee Lamb to get hurt. But if guy goes out, we going to just throw the season up. Championship teams don't do that, man. If you're talking about winning a championship, they adapt and they overcome. If you can't adapt and overcome, then you're front runners anyway. Because it got to be perfect for you. I remember, man, I used to say, it made no difference what it was, how it was. You know, when you got that swag, you tell somebody, say, man, I don't care what the conditions is. I don't care if it's in your house, my house, in the street, whatever. On your terms, my terms, I'm still gonna win. That's the type of team I want. That takes swag, and that takes building in. That takes grinders. Y'all talking about a Hollywood atmosphere. Let's don't let this team be Hollywood. See, Hollywood always telling me what they got to get, what they need to get some more. We need to get that. We need to get this. That's how you treat them, Hollywood. Great work, great question here. It said, what's your expectation for this season? But know what was great about that question? Man, you know what was great about that question, sir? You know what's great about that question? The word expectations. See, if you take out the word expectations in things, you take out your expectations for anything, you'll probably be satisfied in the results you get from it. But once you put expectations in there, most times you're going to be dissatisfied about what you're going to get. Mazi Smith is being judged about the expectations the fans have. Does that make him a bad football player? No. Is he going to be a Hall of Fame first rounder? No. We got 3 guys on our team that was Hall of Fame with first rounders that got let go by the other teams. Elam, Turner. But he's getting judged by expectations. And what we should do is judge him by what is his contributing factor to this team. It's the sum of the parts. An engine don't run, you know. Yeah, it's expectations, church. Tell church, it's expectations. If Mazi was a 3rd round draft pick and had 60-some tackles, and they say he was hurt and he was playing, and he had a couple of good games, guess what they'll be saying? Oh, he'll be okay. Listen here. I love Izzy because Izzy come from University of South Carolina. And I didn't do no work on this. But I think, and I've seen some things with Izzy, but I really believe if we, as a fan base, take out of, we talk about one game against the Tampa Bay. Okay. But if we watch Izzy and we put the spotlight on Izzy as much as we did other players, we'll probably see some of the same things that the coaches have been seeing that's been holding Izzy up. But we don't. And if Izzy was a first-round draft pick, we have been saying he need to be out the door. So I'm not saying he should have got cut or not got cut. But I see two coaching staffs that was down out on him. And I think we signed him because you want to make sure you have a group before you even go into the draft. And we got to stop doing this splash page type stuff. And when we hear one of the reporters from one of the practices talk about somebody, and we say maybe splash page, we start jumping all over, getting all crazy about guys, and then we get opinion in our mind, and then we don't come off of it because that's built in. Everybody who's done played football should know that, man. Splash plays don't mean a lot, man. Everybody know if they don't play football and seen guys get splash plays and can't play a league. They got into one, and then all of a sudden they get killed 3-4 times out of the road, and they get one big play, and then everybody's, oh yeah. And a lot of times the teammates are so hyped up because the guy got a splash play because they hadn't been getting those splash play, and they like the guy and they want the guy to do well. That ain't mean that they say the guy's balling. Y'all know that, man. Come on, man. But it's time for us to get focused on what we got. And we need to go. I put out a couple of videos earlier, and those was a snippet. The last two videos I put, if y'all watched them, those was breakouts of videos I had done before when I talked about and we're going to talk more about, I got a couple of, going to do some more videos in the next coming weeks about, one, what you have to do to win. I posted this last year on X about being gangsters and what you must do to win on the road and how you gangster a victory in the road. You don't go in on the road and go in there and go in there with a suit and tie on and the corporate atmosphere and the corporate mindset and win on the road. Everywhere you go on the road, you got to go in there and gangster a victory. Because you're going to hostile territory with everybody else around you, and you got to go in there as a commando group, a Navy SEAL group that ain't going up but a few of y'all. You going in there with 153 guys in a sea of thousands in Philadelphia, and you got to go in there with a mindset that we're going in here and gangster a victory. But there's some smart things you got to do. You got to play smart. You got to bring the physical battle, and you got to be disciplined enough to get it done. And you got to have a mindset that I'm be able to take some blows, but I'm going to give some blows, and we're going to seize the tempo of the game and win it. And there's some certain things that I'm going to point out this week that you got to do to win on the road in football games. And I don't care what you are, who you playing, what the thing is, these things are cemented. And like in my last videos, go check my last prayer videos out. I did that little snippet, about 4-minute video last night I posted. There's battles in a game that you got to win as a team to have a great chance to win. And you can talk about players, you can talk about getting guys, getting this guy, getting that guy. But the things I'm giving you ain't about if this guy. It's about whoever's on the field and the team to do these things. And you can win games. But you ain't going to win games by names. Names will not get you no victories in this game. Names will get you laughed at. Now, what I've heard early, I heard somebody say about Childress. Listen, man, Will McClay and his bottom, and that's where you get your money at. I always talk about Boss Cowboy, man. Boss Cowboy got a book that comes out, his book, and Keystone. Boss Cowboy, and when they don't have a book to come out, Boss Cowboy has a book that he brings out, and Keystone, undoubtedly the best sleeper guy in the business. And he should be on his own show. He should be one that they pick up because he could document his sleepers for the last 5 years, and he has hit on a lot of great guys. And Boss' book has hit on a lot of great guys. And basically, I would say that's more of a sleeper because he doesn't really say, I'm just going to deal with the first line guys. And those guys are just looking for an opportunity to make names. And that's why I keep trying to tell people. When I see guys like Boss and Keystone point out these sleepers, these guys that they're pointing out are not the name brand guys. And when they point these guys out, they're saying, give these guys an opportunity and they'll make their name. So it's not about names because these guys, they're picking on these sleeper lists. They're not the name guys, but they turn out to be the guys. So Will McClay has done an excellent job on the bottom end. I won't put that past nobody. And when he said 2 weeks ago, and I said this on live stream, that I said this on this past live stream, we were talking about players, and I was telling them about it's a crazy time now. They're really working hard. Yes, the last couple of weeks, last week and a half, these scouts have been working hard. They've been going to other games. They've been scouting films from other teams. They've been following guys that they had previously scouted already that they was interested in the draft or trying to bring in as an undrafted free agent, and they have followed those guys, and they have watched those guys. They have gotten the word about some other guys. They have studied the other teams and their situation about they're not going to be able to keep a guy because they're stacked. They're trying to not keep a guy because they got a lot of other positions. They got to know everybody's problems that they're going into so they can understand who's trying to slide a guy to the practice squad, who's trying to slide a guy by people. It's a cat and mouse game here. Sometimes you hold a guy because you try to throw a fake move. I think Booth was a fake move. I think they took Booth because and I think they was done with Izzy. Now I know people gonna be upset about that. I think they were done with Izzy because they tried Izzy at corner, they tried him at slot, and they tried him at safety. I think they felt that the guys in here in the room were better than Izzy. And they felt the guy that they were going to pick up would be better than Izzy. And they were going to pick a guy up. They were going to pick a guy up that's going to have more years. And if Izzy was not going to be dominant on a 1-year contract, why keep him there? And then you got to turn around and he does give you value. They don't think he's going to be a value, but then they don't think they were going to turn around and say they were going to sign him. So Les Izzy blew them off their feet. They said, okay, we're just going to end the run with him. And we think we can get another guy that's going to be just as good as Izzy, but we're going to have him for more than 1 year. On your back end of your roster, this is how this goes, man. It's not, just saying, oh, we like a guy. You got to think about how long we going to have a guy. The back end of the roster is when Will McClay and your scouts make their money. And this is all over the league. This ain't just Dallas. Do y'all know 20% of your roster on all the team changes every year? So your back end, your roster changes. Don't you know that most of the players that are on the NFL teams are not first, second round, third round picks? The majority of the NFL rosters are 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and undrafted free agents. Do y'all realize that? So don't think about where a guy is drafted always, about his value. Because again, you're judging a guy based on where he was drafted because of what the word I said, expectations. And to make your name, you got to get opportunity. And these guys got opportunity. So I think they were done with Izzy. I think that they went away from Izzy. They were done with Izzy. And I think they did Booth just to be safeguard themselves, but they had their eye on these two guys. And if they got cut, they were going to go after them right then. And it worked out. And I think they got the guys that they wanted. That's how this thing worked. And it's a cat and mouse game. It's a lot of work going on. And let's not deflate this work, because you got to think about it. There's a lot of players out there, and you're asking your coaches, and your coaches say, I'm all right in position. They're going to roll with it. And there's something else. So let's not, I know we got a lot of other drama going on, but let's not deflate that our back end and our scouting staff and our back end and out, they have done a hell of a job in undrafted free agents and picking up guys. Man, we have let guys go there with undrafted free agents, go on and be stars in other teams in the NFL. And they're trying to sneak, yeah, right, Ty? They're trying to sneak, Church, they're trying to sneak. But this way. They knew the two guys, that they probably was one guy that they wanted out of two guys they picked up because they had their eye on them, right? But both of them came out there, so they went and got both. They didn't release Childress. Why they release them now? Because a lot of people already picked up some guys and filled out their roster. And the second way, when you cut some out the second way, some people can't pull the trigger because they already put a trigger on it. Now you can easily slide Childress through. It's a cat-mouse game. If they would have dropped Childress yesterday, he would have been gone. They waited, made it look like he was a definite on this roster, found the guy that they wanted, two of the guys they wanted, got them off, and then they dropped Childress, and guess what they're going to probably do? He probably going to slide through waivers. And then have a practice squad. Because they already probably talked to them about being on the practice squad already at the price they're going to pay. It's a cat and mouse game, man. It's a cat and mouse game. At the back end of your roster, everybody playing cat and mouse. Now, that's why I wanted to tell people that let's have confidence in Will McClay on this back end. And I'll tell people, the film guys go out there, go out and study these guys. I bet you, well, one thing I know they're going to be tacklers. And I'm here to tell Diggs, your defensive coordinator now, I don't know what your boy, your cornerback coach from last year, all that, they didn't press you about tackling. But you need to bring back Nick Saban philosophy, because if you played in the Alabama as a cornerback, when you was at Alabama, you know how to tackle. So that's going to be important, your important job. And I understand you're going to come back trying to get the picks and everything, but you got to come back being a tackle. You got to come back being a complete corner. And now let me get to my last topic. And I'm going to let y'all go because I see my other heavy hitters out there. They out there got started. But let me tell you something else. I've been saying all along about, and I think we have hurt Michael Parsons from being the queen. The queen on the chessboard. I'm not calling him queen to be queer, but the queen of the chessboard is the most dominant piece on the chessboard. It doesn't mean when you die, the king go, the game is over, but the queen is the most dominant. Michael Parsons had the ability that the T.J. Watts that didn't have, the Myles Garrett that didn't have. Now, if you're talking about true defensive end, Myles Garrett is a better defensive end. T.J. Watts is a better defensive end. I'm just being honest. Because when you look at them run-wise and probably bad, but you look at J.J. Watt, Myles Garrett, yes. But for the ability that Michael Parsons had, he had an ability to be a run-chasing linebacker that they would never have. And he probably could put up comparable numbers with them at rushing the quarterback. I think that this training camp could have unleashed him and being that queen where they could have introduced him to another wave of what he could have done in a live action. The players around him would have got used to understanding how he opens up things for them to attack, which overall makes the defense better. But not being in this training camp, and when he signed now, he's only going to be a pass rusher. And which I think that's limiting how competitive he could be. And then all the time I've been trying to tell people, when everybody said, oh, Michael wants to be a pass rusher because that's where the big money at. And I kept trying to tell you that there's two positions that getting paid on defense that ain't defensive ends. And if you look around the league, tell me how many real defensive ends get really paid. It ain't that many. But guys that T.J. Watt kept his thing of outside linebacker. Yeah. He was outside linebacker when he signed at $28 million a year 4 years ago, which that set the standard. And outside linebackers and defensive tackles in this league is the ones making the money. And the defensive tackles that are making the money are run stoppers and pass rushers. And I always told people this, if you could dominate multiply, you are worth more to this league and the pockets of NFL teams than a guy that can only do one thing. I'm going to say this again. And I'm not calling Michael Parsons a one-trick pony. But if you could dominate in the run game and the pass game, you are more valuable to an organization only if you just a pass rusher. There's pass rushers out there right now that's got great stats as being pass rushers that are on the market right now trying to find jobs because the only thing they can do is get you 10, 11, 12 sacks. And they get you 15 sacks or 600 some rushes, passes you might have been. That ain't enough. You got to be dominant in all areas to be called a dominant player. And now he's grieving because the defensive end paid for the 5th year is not paying much as the linebacker. And I said that a long time ago. And guess who else knew that? Guess who else knew that? While all of us he get caught up in this media thing about, oh, you got to be rushing, get sacks. That's the only way you're going to make money. That's to get started. The Cowboys knew that defense end is still not going to get paid more than what if a guy that could do multiple things. I told y'all this. If he goes to the table and says, I'm a 130 tackle guy, I can stop the run at linebacker. I'm going to still get you at rushing at defensive end on 3rd down and blitzing from the middle linebacker position. I'm still going to get you 17 sacks. I'm going to get you a couple of interceptions because of my speed. And I'm going to be around the ball every play. And if you want to play me off the ball, I'm still going to dominate. They're not going to care about what position you play. They're going to pay you based off your agent's going to negotiate on your impact. But we think they negotiate on what position you play. And I said this. if he does the pass rusher, he limited his impact on the game. Now, y'all can talk about what the stats is say, when Micah's on the field, how we did. But when you say, I don't say Micah's not dominating in big games. No. I'm not saying Micah is not sorry in big games. No. I understand if he only can do that one thing as an offense, I can limit his effectiveness in a big game. I told you this before. Against San Francisco, he'll never dominate San Francisco from the defensive end spot. And that's not saying bad about Micah Parsons. That's saying the San Francisco offense is not designed for defensive end to pressure their quarterback. One, they're going to make him play the run. Two, they're going to get the ball out their hands fast. And the amount of drop back passes they got, they're going to have enough guys to chip him or a good defensive offensive tackle that ain't going to have to handle him maybe about 4 or 5 times out of the game when they had a drop back long pass, but they get the ball out of the game. So a defensive end is not going to dominate the game against them. But if you got a great linebacker, he could dominate the game against the 49ers. Because you can blitz him from the middle, from the outside. He can stop the running game. He can be on the screen passes. He could be underneath. His speed, he would affect the game more than a guy standing on the outside. But when I try to tell y'all that, when Corey tried to tell y'all that, everybody gives us this flack about, that's where you get paid by rushing the quarterback. Great defensive players get paid by the impact that they provide. Lawrence Taylor rushed the quarterback, but you ain't run over there either. But the impact that they provide. And when you got a guy that has the skill set of Micah Parsons, you put him in places where you make mismatches. And you utilize all his skill set. Tackle for a loss in the running game is just as good as a sack. And he had more tackle for losses in the run game his first year than some of our linebackers had in 2 or 3 years. But we killed that. Because for him to get in shape and have the mental capacity and the calluses that Schottenheimer said, to do all those things, 2 things had to happen. You had to present it to him in training camp. He had to learn to buy into it, and his teammates had to learn how they play off of it to be great. Because guarantee you get Micah Parsons playing off-law linebacker, on the line of scrimmage, off the line of scrimmage, and playing everywhere. Once his teammates get to learn how to play off of it, you don't think Micah Parsons standing behind Mazi Smith don't make Mazi Smith better? When a guy that runs a 4.3 40, if he even talk about he's going to do a run blitz, Mazi's not getting double teams. Duh. They're not going to worry about Mazi, and when they got to get a guy like Micah Parsons, now Mazi gets better. That's why he's the queen on the board. The queen on the chessboard, when they move around, it makes all the other pieces nervous because they can snatch up another piece like that because they can move anywhere. Their power. That's what I'm saying about when if Micah was presented to him, he had to buy into it, and you had to work it during training camp to get him comfortable and in shape, because you got to be a whole nother level of shape. In shapeability, shape to do this, but his other players would have benefited, and he would have been universal. And when he went to the pay him, he's not gonna go there and say, "Well, I got these sacks, I got pressures. I dominate the run game. I'm in the passing game on the back end. I make this guy better. I make that guy better. When I move here, this guy got more sacks. That guy got more sacks. And I dominated the game. And there's nobody, even the great Lawrence Taylor, can do the things with my skill set. Then you got leverage to get paid whatever you want to get paid. But see, they think they got a couple of pass rushers. They think they can do without you. That's why they ain't pay for you. Because they think they can provide pressure on the quarterback. See, this is why you give people leverage to play around with you when you don't utilize all your abilities. This is the same thing I said in the business world. When you don't span all your capabilities of all the stuff you can do, you allow people to think that they can get by because they can just get by with that one thing that you do. And this is not no ripping Michael Parsons. But this is talking to Michael Parsons other than the Dallas Cowboys. Young man, you got the ability to do something and the skill set that we hadn't seen before. We done seen pass rushers before. We done seen them before. But you got the ability to make them call your shots because your impact in all areas is undeniable. But it takes buy-in. It takes conditioning. You got to buy into it. It takes conditioning, and it takes you getting involved in it and working in it, and your players around you buying into it because it's going to make them make big plays because of your move around ability. Your skill set is going to unleash them to do one thing and one thing only, what they do well, and dominate. People, I'm telling you something, man, that Michael would put fear in offensive coordinators, but he don't put fear in offensive coordinators just standing at that defensive end spot. Because I can limit his effect. And he may have some effect, but I can limit it. But a guy that athletic, that dominant, see, if I was the Joneses, I would have went here and gave him his money assignment. And then what I would have done, no, I would have put the pressure on him being that unicorn, that queen in year 2, year 3. Because you can't wait to year 4 to ask him now. I would have put the pressure on him to be dominant all over the field. And I would have signed him his contract. And then I would have put the pressure on him in the media to living up to the contract and doing all those things to make his teammates better. But what you done, Jerry and Steven, you have hurt his ability to be that guy. And you're going to end up paying for a guy that you done limit his effectiveness. But it takes buy-in, Michael. And you can't tell me that you always bought into it. Playing defensive end is easy. But if you want to be the guy that they talk about and they're making names for, I say this again, utilize all your skill sets. And I guarantee you, then you can tell people, man, ain't no negotiating. I'm unique. But they don't see pass rushers. I mean, listen, you ain't gonna probably go down to history. Right now, you ain't going down to history as one of the best pass rushers they had. Charles Haley's on that list. Marcus Ware is on that list. Harvey Martin, the dominant, is on that list. Even Jim Jeffcoat. There's been some great pass rushers on that list of Dallas. But none of them had the skill set you could do. Don't limit yourself, young man. Because when you limit yourself, you find people trying to limit your money. Because they're trying to make you a one-trick pony. Don't you limit yourself. Tell Mac Eaglefoods that you want to do it all. And be dominant in all. So, I need y'all out there to help me out. I'm about to get off, but listen. Y'all do a great job of sharing. Please try to get your people, if you hadn't, by some things of going up and seeing some of my videos, go on every videos. One, I need another 1,000 or so watch hours to get monetized. Second thing, I need 48 more subscribers to get to 500. That's one of my landmarks to get to 500. Let's just try to spread the word and try to get me out there. Church and some of these other guys as my content creators, please allow your fan base to know, not only follow me on X, but come over to my YouTube channel and subscribe and send out things. I'm also taking up. Coach Marv is trying to get to. I'm coming to Dallas. Coach Marv will be my first trip in Dallas, and I'll be in Dallas for the Green Bay Packer game on Sunday Night Football. So if y'all like the content and y'all with the content and whatever, hey man, when I get monetized, hope I get monetized, I can go and y'all start doing super chats. But if you want to help the channel and throw some things in the pot so Coach Marvin get a beer too when he get to Dallas, man, that'd be great, man. And we know if you see my Cash App here, it's $PBS 222. Send Coach Marv and put in the thing. Say, hey man, come on to Dallas, Coach Marv, and we're gonna see you with some content because hopefully I'm getting with the content creators in Dallas, Law and Boss and Lou and Stargazer, and we're gonna get together. We're gonna do some content in Dallas, man. So hopefully, if I can, get there, man, it's a trip. It's a very expensive trip. I'm coming with two of my long-term friends, of guys I've been knowing for 50 years. One is a Green Bay fan, and hopefully we can try to Green Bay. He's been a Green Bay fan ever since I know him. Since we've been going to school together since kindergarten, and we had an opportunity to go to the same college together. But he went on into the military, and I'm gonna tell you what college I went to. But another friend of mine, he's a couple years older, but me and him been friends for over 40-some years, and he's a staunch Cowboy fan. So it's two Cowboy fans coming with a Green Bay fan to the Green Bay game. My first time going to Dallas, and my first time trying to see a game in the home stadium of Dallas. And so it's going to be a memorable trip for me, and hopefully, but if you can, if you feel in your heart after you share, subscribe, if you feel in your heart to send $1, $2, $3, $4, whatever to the Cash App, that'd be great. Hopefully we can get to those next 48 subscribers and get that watch hours out the way. So when we go on these watch parties for the game for the next 3 weeks before I come to Dallas, that I can have y'all come on and watch the watch party on my screen and send your chats in and your super chats and those things, so we can keep that. The other thing I want to say right before I get off, tomorrow night, I'm thinking about it. I don't know if I'm gonna do it. I ain't gonna have no crazy thumbnail to it, but I may try to get a little thumbnail. But I'm thinking about going on live and having my own little watch party because my alma mater, I played football in Norfolk State back in the late 80s. And I played at Norfolk State under the coach Willie Bailey. Willie Bailey, coach, the great legendary coach Willie Bailey. He's in the College Football Hall of Fame. It's one of the winningest Division II football coaches in the National Football League. Some of the guys that played for Willie Bailey played for the Cowboys. Herb Scott played for the great offensive guard that should be in the Hall of Fame to play for the Cowboys. Made so many Pro Bowls. Played for Willie Bailey. Michael Barnwell played for Willie Bailey. And some other great players that played under Willie Bailey at Virginia Union. And he went on to Norfolk State and coached at Norfolk State because he was a Norfolk State graduate. And I played for them. So Michael Vick is coaching at my alma mater, the Norfolk State Spartans out of Norfolk, Virginia. And I'm going to be watching that game. And I'm probably going to say, hey, man, I may try to do a little watch party. Y'all can watch the game with me, or I can tell you how I'm feeling about the game. And I may just come on and go live and just tell you how I'm feeling about it. If y'all watching it, the game's going to be on HBC, ESPNU tomorrow. They're playing Townsend State. But I'm going to go live maybe while the game is going on. And if you ain't doing anything, man, pop on in there and say, hey, coach, how you doing? That's going to give me some watch hours. That's going to probably give me some subscribers. And hopefully we can just watch the game. You can hear my comments, or I may get upset about my team, my college football team. But again, Norfolk State University, I played offensive guard there for 4 years, man. Graduated, and I was not one of those players that didn't graduate. I got a Bachelor of Science degree in accounting from Norfolk State University. And I tell anybody, man, I enjoyed my time going there. And yes, I got recruited by a lot of different HBCUs. But I decided to go to Norfolk to leave out of state, of South Carolina, to go to Norfolk to play for Willie Bailey. I had a chance to go to the Clark. I had an opportunity to go to Savannah State. I had an opportunity to go to South Carolina State, right here in my hometown. I had a chance to go to Clark, Savannah State, Fort Valley. I had a chance to go to Hampton. But I decided to go to Norfolk State, and that's where I landed at, man. And that's my team. I hope Michael Vick goes in. That's going to be a tough thing. I'm going to be critical on it. Same thing, the same philosophy, still win. Flash and blast don't win. This all gets down to the grind and blocking and tackling. So y'all come with me tomorrow. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to have a Norfolk State shirt on, and we're going to go behold the green and gold, the Norfolk State football team. And we're going to see how a little watch party by myself, how many people will pop in and watch it with me as I watch my team, the Norfolk State Spartans, get on the field for the first time in the inaugural game of Michael Vick. And again, Coach Marv is, after that's why Coach Marv needs the help on the Cash App, because the Dallas trip is a trip. And then a month after that, I'm not going to my homecoming. Me and my frat brothers, I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. Me and my frat brothers from Norfolk are going to Michael Vick and Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Jackson is coaching at Delaware State, and Michael Vick and Norfolk State and Delaware State are having a classic. They moved the game from Delaware State to the Philadelphia, to our hated Philadelphia Eagles stadium. They're having a classic there where Norfolk State is playing Delaware State on October the 30th. That's a Thursday night game in Philadelphia. And Coach Marv, I'm trying to catch a plane right there to spend some time there. That's going to be 2 days before my birthday. And hopefully I can be back home for my birthday and be back with y'all on my birthday to celebrate and do the game that we have on live stream on my birthday, November the 2nd. So it's going to be trying to be hectic. Finances is tough right now. We're going through some things with my house and all type of stuff, and trying to keep this live stream, this thing going, this platform going. I'm a fish out of water with this, people. I'm learning as I go. The stuff you may see, the other videos I got, and I'm trying to make sure they may not seem like they're so great and beautiful and stuff, but I'm working on that. But I'm trying to put content out. Think about it, people. I never thought I got 55 videos out there. This is my 55th video that I'm posting out here today. And man, that's crazy, man. I never thought that I'd be out there 55 times on that. I done got to the point I'm not even camera shy no more. One time I was camera shy, but now I'm not even camera shy no more. So still trying to work on my health, man. Still trying to lose some weight, man. I don't know if I go back and look at some of those other videos back when me and Boss Cowboy was doing stuff, man. I used to, even though I'm a big guy, I've always been a big guy, I was a little bit more puffed up then than I am now, man. But I thank y'all for being with me, man. I thank all the people who came into the chat. I thank all the people who's in here watching now, all the people who came in and commented. Thank y'all so much, man, for supporting me, man. Y'all know Coach Mal Real Talk is all about realness. Let's start thinking about football. We got what we got. Let's get together. Let's support this team. Let's pull with this team, and let's uplift them and not tear them down, because they what we got. They're in our house. So let's treat them like family. Until next time, keep on putting in. Remember I said, those who sweat more in peace, they bleed less in war. Keep sweating, Cowboy players. You're going to bleed less in war when this war starts. Until next time, peace. I'm out. Go and support my rest of my content creators, man. They are on live now. Go over to their channels and support them, and tell them Coach Marv sent you. Peace.